G'day everyone, welcome back again. Weekend again. They seem to rock around pretty quickly at the moment. Been on the disc banker early this morning. So if you saw the last one, we're shearing lambs, got the lamb shorn, and then borrowed a disc banker to dress these banks up a bit. So I got all them all done. I've just come down. Gonna just put a bit of water around these stops and just sort of wet this white rock. We probably should have done it at the time when the guys put it in, but we were a bit time poor and I was away when they were doing it. So if sort of I was here, I would have been able to give them a hand doing it. So I've just got the little fire unit here. Just going to put a bit of water around them just to help that white rock set a bit. There is still a fair bit of rain forecast for this week, so that'll help as well. But I'm gonna wet them down, and then I've nearly finished actually. I've done the first whatever there is, first 5 or 6. Gonna just got to do these last couple, and then I'm gonna get the backhoe and just sort of backfill around these a bit better. Just spend a couple of hours just tidying them up. So there's still, that's the edge of the stop there. So we need to get a bit more dirt in round there just to help support. There's about 400 mil in the ground there, but even still, we need to get it packed around the ends a bit better, because it'll be a pain in the backside once we do get the crop sown and the water in here. We can probably reach over the bank here if we need to with the backhoe and tidy them up if we do have a blowout, but it's easier to do it now while everything's still dry and the crop's not sown. So once we get this done, we're sort of ready to plant. So I've just got to put the seeder on the tractor and the monitors in the tractor and a couple of jobs to the air cart, just finish off hooking it up, and then we can load her up and calibrate it and get into it. So very close. So we're still pushing. There's still the rain sort of Tuesday now, but there's still the forecast I just looked there before, they're still talking 50 to 60 mil for here. So as I've been saying, if we can get that sort of rain, it'll very nearly get the crop out of the ground for us. So but it's come up pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way we put a bit of time into it, but it's come up pretty neat and tidy. So we can just get these sorted out. We'll be good to go. So we're about all done with the stops. My backhoe skills aren't superior by any stretch, but I just wanted to get a bit more dirt around the wings of them. That box stop round further's been leaking. Its water's just made its way around here, so that's what the water is here. So we'll get in and we'll clean these up with the shovel a bit, but we've done them all now. So there's a couple more that I'll get one of the guys to do on next week before we sow it. But we can get the air seeder on the tractor now and start and get organised to sow it. Afternoon. All right. Apologies about the wind. It's pretty crappy sort of a day actually. We finally got to the point of planting some rice. So we had to do a bit of mucking around here and tidy a few hoses and that up, and yeah, just you haven't been watching along for that long. We adjust our sowing depth by altering where this tube is, back tube. So this system's what they call a parallelogram system. So the press wheel follows the ground, and essentially, yeah, that sort of sets your sowing depth, and then you just alter these tubes up and down whether you want to go a bit deeper or a bit shallower. The air cart, we actually built that air cart whenever it was, 5 or 6 years ago now. Might be longer, and yeah, so it works really well. Originally the bins were mounted up on the puller, on the bar, and we just didn't have the capacity we sort of needed. So we were sort of, you know, when we were sowing wheat, doing 12 or 13 hectares a bin full, and you know, now we can do sort of 45 hectares a bin full. So yeah, much better capacity and better efficiency. So yeah, what we do, we just run around and we can prime the seeder, and we just run around and make sure all the tubes have got seed coming out. We're a bit late to the party here. We've had daylight savings start today, which is a pain in the backside, but anyway. And then yeah, we had a bit of a mishap. Tony came out to give me a hand to get organised, and he was up the top when we were filling the seed up, and he's leant over to look in to see how much seed there was, and light has fallen out of his pocket and landed in the bin and disappeared. So we actually had to auger all the seed back out to find the lighter, and then yeah, start again. So we've lost a couple of hours, but anyway, it is what it is. So, but no, we'll get cracking and try and get a bit done this evening, and then yeah, still get it done tomorrow. They're still talking rain. This big rain Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, you know, still talking 50 to 60 mil. So yeah, things are going to want to change. It's not super hot today, but pretty windy, and I think it was Sydney's hottest day today or yesterday or something. So for whatever we are, well, we're actually October today. So anyway, they're a bit soft in the city. Yeah, anything over 30 degrees, I reckon it's a heat wave. Anyway, we've got to poke fun at them when we can. But yeah, we'll get cracking here and see how we go. We've just done one run, and we'll just pull up here and have a scratch around and see how we're looking. Where are we? There we go. You probably might not be able to see with the shadow on the shadow of the furrow, but yeah, we're about 25 to 30 mil deep. Some of it might be a little bit shallower, which is not too bad. We probably don't want it too deep. Yeah, just it's probably this sort of stuff with going on with the water. We're better off a fraction shallower than a fraction deeper. Yeah, but anyway, I think that's probably all right. I'll do a couple of more runs and yeah, pull up again and have a look. But yeah, we're underway. So I've just had another look out. I'm finding a little bit of seed on top of the ground now. If we were sowing wheat or barley, I'd probably drop the tubes down a bit. But given this stuff doesn't like to be sown too deep, I'm just going to leave it alone. So there's a bit of dust kicking around, but that's all right. There's actually moisture coming up. Now, one thing we have done, I've slowed down. I'm back to about 6 kilometres an hour. Usually when we're sowing winter cereals, we're up around that 7.5, so we're usually doing that sort of 6 hectares an hour. We're back to about 5 here at the moment. Just this machine's pretty aggressive in shifting dirt. It's got, and I probably should have showed just for the new guys, but it's got quite a long front point, and that does tend to peel the dirt out a bit, and we do have issues with soil throw. This machine's on 250mm spacing, 10-inch, and yeah, we do. If we travel too much quicker than sort of 7.5 kilometres an hour, we run into trouble with soil throw, and it's sort of what happens is it's burying the row beside one another. If look, the last tines can actually, you know, bury the row the front tine's making, if you can sort of pick up what I'm putting down. So what I've actually done is, yeah, I've slowed down from what we usually sow at, just to try and alleviate that soil throw, and it seems to be doing, turn that off, yeah, it seems to be doing a pretty good job. So yeah, all happy days at the moment. So the sowing rate we're sowing at, and you might not be able to see that, we're sowing about 160 kilos per hectare, so that's twice the rate that we would sow wheat at. Generally wheat's at about 85, and again we're putting 150 kilos per hectare of MAP down as well. So yeah, and generally, you know, we're around that 85-90 of MAP when we're sowing winter crops. So yeah, it is a bit more tucker for it and a bit more seed. So establishment's pretty key here. Like, ideally, if we had someone with a disc machine that was close handy, we'd probably get them to come and sow it. We have sowed it with this machine before, so we know it does work. But yeah, it is reasonably, like a lot of summer crops, it is reasonably critical about getting it sown. What we find here, if we end up with any holes or misses, when we put the permanent water on, it gives somewhere for the ducks to land, and then the ducks basically just eat their way out. So yeah, we've got to make sure on the headlands and that sort of stuff we don't have any misses. Yeah, that sort of thing just alleviates that duck problem. Because we're only probably 8, possibly 10 kilometres from the Murray River here, we do have a lot of trouble with ducks. Both, well, they've had a fair crack at some of the winter crop this year too, around dams and that sort of thing. But yeah, the first year we were back growing it, we had the water on. We actually broadcast the seed with a spreader, and then put the water on while the ducks just came in droves. So it's essentially you're creating a wetland for them. So with food on hand as well. So yeah, if we can bury the food, it sort of keeps the ducks away. Just doing a last run in this bay, and I just spotted this on the ground. It's an old ploughshare from years gone by, old farming relic. Go really well in tyres, these things. I'm not entirely sure how they used to work, whether a bit like a point that you knocked onto a shank, but yeah, do pick them up from time to time. But yeah, it's amazing. It's still, all these years, it would be 50, 60 years potentially since this thing's been used, and it's amazing how we're still picking them up today. Don't pick them up very often, but yeah, yeah, it's quite heavy. I don't know whether it's steel or cast or what it is, but anyway, pick it up so it doesn't cause mischief later on. Well, we've made pretty good progress. I've got about 9 hectares done, so I've just pulled up for the evening. I've still got a couple of bays to do in that first section where I started, and then there's 3 over there. It's just how it works out. Getting in and out of the bays, you've got to sort of come at them from different directions. So I thought I'd just, when I came out, I thought I'd come over here because I can get in here and there's actually 5 bays here I can do without hopping out again. The trouble being is just with the pull and the way we've got the wheels set up on this cart, the wheels actually come round and rub on the hoses there. So it's, yeah, we can't turn on ourselves, and yeah, we've just run into trouble. We just can't turn sharps, the long and the short of it. So a set of caster wheels at the front here would probably be a lot better, just allow us to turn a lot sharper. So anyway, something we might look at one day. Yeah, but no, good start. Everything seems to be going all right. Yeah, so I'm just gonna sort of knock off. We've still got to get this hay in a bale, so I'm just gonna duck out and have a look at it now before it gets dark, and yeah, might even have a bit of dinner and a shower and go and try and get a bit of that in the bale if it looks like it might be somewhere near it. So I've had a bit of dinner and had a shower and come out here. We're fighting moisture here. The arrowleaf clover in this hay's got quite a thick stalk, and look, Normally we'd only be sort of looking at cutting hay now. It is a bit early. We've been probably, whether it's been fortunate or unfortunate with the weather, we haven't got any rain for the hay, so it's all sort of worked out all right. But with this rain that's coming, yeah, it's gonna complicate it, because if we get a truckload of rain like they're talking, yeah, it's gonna bugger it. We might as well just turn the sheep in on it. So I've got some inoculant there. that we put on with the silage, so I'm actually going to put that on as well. I'll have a bit of a scratch around here and see what we can come up with. But yeah, look, it's been a pretty hot, windy, sort of a dry day again. It's always, and I don't know, I haven't been doing hay for a long time, probably 5 years I think we've had the round baler. You always found it's hard to do hay on a rising dew, so in the evening when the dew's coming on. Bit different in the middle of summer, but this time of year where you can have, the dews we get can be quite heavy, and it's like you've had a mill of rain in the morning. So generally we press in the morning as the dew's sort of starting to come off, and then obviously once it gets too dry, you pull up. But just because we've got a bit here to do, I'm just going to try and have a crack at this now. It's going to make pretty good stuff if we can get it, but we're just yeah, we're sort of racing the weather a little bit. And look, it might be a bit hard to see with the light, but these guys here, if I can get his mates off him, these are the ones we're sort of a bit worried about. It's probably not going to focus for you, but they do still have, although they are sort of wilty dry, they're a bit rubbery still. So, but I'm hoping there's enough dry stuff in them, in amongst it. We haven't burnt any hay yet, so basically if the hay's if the moisture in the hay is too high, you can potentially, it'll self-combust. So it happens every year. There's always hay sheds that go up where people have got it a little bit wrong, and yeah, you just get a bale that gets hot and they just go up in smoke. So got to be a bit careful what we do. It's a bit more forgiving with the round baler, but even still, yeah, we need to be pretty careful. I haven't burnt one yet, and sort of not looking to start. So anyway, we'll get set up and get going and see how we go. So I've punched, I don't know, 4 out, 5 out. So the magic number is about that. So we're pretty good. I did lift the pick up a little bit. What's that say? So 16, sort of up there a little bit. Probably don't want to be any higher than roughly 18 or 19. So that one's a bit crazy. He's down to about 8. So what I've got here is, we can see that it's just a rod about 1/2 metre long, 600 mil long, and that's the moisture probe, and you just stick it in and press the button, and yeah. So the inoculant, it's just going on. There's a little jet there, you can see it dripping. And yeah, it's just spraying on the hay as we're going. So, but yeah, if it stays about that, it is cooling down, as I said. But I'll yeah, might get a couple of hours in, which will be good. We'll get a bit of it picked up. Just got the GoPro set up here on the back window. It's a bit hard to need both hands here most of the time, so it's just easier to yeah, I've just got it stuck to the back window so you can see what's going on. So yeah, pickup's just feeding in. We're doing about 10 or 11 kilometres an hour. I've got a little screen here I'll show you in a minute. It just got a couple of bars on it here that shows me how even the bale is. You'll hear a beep in a minute. So that's the beep, and that just gives me a warning to say the bale's nearly full. And then yeah, just get a continuous beep like that to say that the bale's full. And I don't know whether you can see, if you look in the little holes there in the front guard, and then we get a second beep like that, and we open the tailgate, and you can see the tailgate open, and I've got all that set up on the headland management on the tractor on a timer, so I just press a button and yeah, it opens and closes automatically. So yeah, it takes it. But yeah, it takes a bit of the monotonous out of it, I suppose. It's not hard work by any stretch, but yeah, and then we've just got the Vario on the tractor again. I'm just driving it with the pedal, just like I'm driving a car. As soon as I take my foot off the pedal, it stops, and yeah, then we just go again. So yeah, really, Vario's really good on the baler because you're stopping and starting all the time. So there's that beep again. So just got a little inoculant tank there, a couple 100-litre tank on the front of the forks, where you can see it. But yeah, we've got the screen here. You can see the 2 bars on the right hand side there going up and down, and the number just keeps counting up as the bale. The track there we cross, the bale increases in size. So it'll get to 150, which is 1.5 metres or 1500 mil or whatever you want to call it. So that beeps when it gets to 140, and then yeah, it gets to 155, and then yeah, it's time. Well, it's wrapping the bale in net, and then it beeps again. A little arrow there that timing, and yeah, the little baler icon opens and spits it out, and closes again. Beeps to tell me it's closed, and away we go. So yeah, pretty simple. It's yeah, not a bad system. So. After talking it up how well it was going, you probably can't see it. Oh yeah, you can see it there. Don't know what's happened, but it hasn't wrapped the bale, so I've had to get in and pull the bale out by hand. So anyway, it's not all beer and skittles. The net runs in the front here, so we were having trouble the other day. I think I'd mentioned with that brake there, just dragging a bit, and the net was breaking. So this isn't the normal net we use. It's a net we've been given from just a replace from a job we did last year. So I don't know, I'm not 100% sold that the net's all that great actually. So anyway, I've got some of our normal stuff in the back of the ute with me in case it plays up, but that roll just, bear with me a minute. So yeah, you can see there something's happened, and it's wrapped the net round the roller there. So there's a series of rollers in there that it feeds round. So whatever's happened, it's caught and then just fed it round the roller instead of feeding it round the bale. So anyway, we'll get it tidied up and get going again. Righto, we've knocked out about 115 or 16. It's about 11, so it's probably enough for today. There'd be 2, maybe 3 hours left here. Another, I don't know, 50, 60. There might be more than that. So yeah, I think we'll end up with around that 180 or 90, something like that. So one of the guys can finish that in the morning. Moisture is still pretty good, but it is. I've got my jumper on now, so it has definitely cooled down a bit. So anyway, knock off time. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Ta-da, bye.